So Jessica, I want to do a video here on what is some of the things that if you're looking to get a house, you should like think about as like basic criteria in your search. So when the real estate agent asks you, you're kind of like thought about it already in terms of like the most kind of basic things. Yeah. What would those things be?
So when I ask a buyer, like, we're making up your criteria, we want to know minimum how many bedrooms they need, how many bathrooms they'd like, the lot size, or kind of, do they want to be in the country or in the city? We want to know if they want a garage or they don't care either way, or if they want room to build a garage. And every buyer is different. So some people will say, we want to live somewhere where we're allowed to have chickens in the backyard. So we have to look through that for them. I always tell people, though, not to make the criteria too strict, because we don't want to be sending them stuff that's almost, we don't want to skip by something that would have been perfect, but there's one thing that doesn't
meet the filters and they don't
right,
get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, for example, say someone says we absolutely need 3 bedrooms. We will not buy a house unless it has 3 bedrooms. And it has 2 bedrooms and there is a spot that's perfect for a 3rd bedroom. We want to leave that open so that they can say, or we can say to them, here's one. I know you said only 3 bedrooms. This one only has 2, but there is this perfect spot for a 3rd. Would you consider this one? So some things I think people need to be a little bit more open to. Yeah. On that. What do you think are some important criteria? School district is another big one for a lot of people.
Yeah, it can definitely be. So like for me, I always set up the automated search and then I do like a manual. So when I'm checking every day, I kind of know what those I call like softer preferences are. But in terms of the automated search, which is like filters on the MLS, it would be price. So max price, nothing over a certain dollar. And that's just to be aware of. Like you said, you don't want to be too specific that you're not going to get a house that you might have been like, oh, I like that one. Like what? Instead of, so you always want to be aware of it. So I go like max price to be aware of, not that you're buying it. And then bedrooms, minimum number of bedrooms you need in a house at least, and bathrooms. And you can say like half baths, full baths, so like 1.5. You do 1 full, 1/2 at minimum. And then a garage if it's a must or not a must. And then condos if you would consider looking at condos or not.
Property type, right? Because some people are like, don't send me townhouses, don't send me condos. I was just about to say
type and style. So type is exactly right. So like detached fully or semi or fully attached. So townhouse. So those 3, and then style. So like bungalows, 1.5 stories, back split, side splits, 2 stories, 2.5 stories, raised bungalows. So if there's anyone that's like, I'm a bungalow hater, like don't send me bungalows, then I want to know. But typically people are open to that, but it's still good to ask, I think. And then location, so area, and trying to keep it obviously like really figure it out. Even just like screenshot Google Maps and kind of just draw the area. It could be smart. And any areas to exclude, like maybe downtown Peterborough or something like that, if you don't want to be in any sketchy spots. And then if applicable, like, kind of knowing like rural, urban, like country versus city home, well septic, fine or not, acreage, if there's a minimum to that really narrows it down though, I find. And then like, if someone's looking waterfront or not, but those other things like acreage minimum and waterfront would really narrow down. Even garages. Oh yeah,
or if they're only looking for waterfront, you only want to send them listings that are waterfront. And I always tell everyone as well, like we do our manual searches, but they should look on realtor.ca, because sometimes if the real estate office that's inputting the listing into the system puts something in wrong, it won't come up with that filter.
Exactly.
So say, for example, it is waterfront and it's not checked off. When you type in waterfront, that waterfront listing will not even show up.
Yeah.
So the filters even aren't always 100% correct.
No.
And that can just be human error on like the real estate office that's inputting the listing. Another reason it's important for sellers to look at their listing and make sure everything's correct. Because if it's not correct, someone might miss your listing on it from a seller's perspective.
Yeah, even this like the mapping of the listing too.
The mapping too. So if it's not mapped correctly on realtor.ca, when people are searching in that particular area, it won't show up.
Yeah, exactly. If someone's doing a specific search and doesn't appear, then they wouldn't know, right? Another one that's hard with the filters would be like, I find in-laws in the basement or second kitchens can be kind of challenging. So that's why like I always say, like, this is automated search. Keep it kind of minimal and really broad. And then when I'm manually looking, it's like, oh, they prefer double wide driveway. They prefer separate access, rental basement, that kind of setup. Or, they prefer a pie shaped lot, which I can't do on the filters. Then when I'm manually seeing all the new listings every day, then I can identify them there. But at least they're still getting kind of hit with the automated search too. Yeah. I'd say that's pretty much. So like if you're thinking about getting in touch with a real estate agent, I would think like price, beds, baths at minimum, location, condos, yes or no, garage, yes or no. And that's, if you just know that, then the other questions you get asked, like that'll just refine it a little bit more, but you'll have a pretty good head start.
For sure.
Cool.